All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 6:31. It is July 29th. Take a look at the disclosure. Let's get to it. All right, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up? My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Been doing this since 1997. Yes, I'm old. Anyway, this is the 6:30 Club where I try and let you know what I'm thinking, what I'm focusing on, how I have multiple plans, maybe what's going on for the week. How do we make some short-term money? How do we have some fun and keep our routine going? So this way, we could do this for a while. I've been doing this for a while. It's not the easiest thing to keep your sanity, right? So that's why I sit here. I listen to music, usually 80s rock. So I date myself, have my iced coffee, get my day ready to go, and that's what we do. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world before we get going. Let's use up early. We got EK Santo in the house. We got Sully. We got Thar. We got Joe Mama. What she got? What up, Ontario? We got Indy in the house. What's the beauty about Twitter or YouTube is you got friends from around the world, and we just sitting here in the Short Hills office. Super Bowl week. What up, MLD? What up, Philip Capaccio, Jamie, Space? We got the beer guy. Good morning, Bobby 4.0. I'm the Red Dog 3.0. All right, so here we are with a big week. A lot of people have a bunch of different questions, which I do too, but I'm involved as we go. Some are like, hey, Red Dog, last week when the spies hit 537, is that the low, for August and September? I said high probability, no. But, can we bounce with big earnings in tech coming out, this week, and the Fed on Wednesday and the jobs report on Friday? Will the rotation trade keep going? Will Bitcoin, get rejected into 70,000 or continue? All good questions, so you could map out scenarios and you can go with it. If you look here, actually, this is the alpha team. This is, what my dogs hang out with me, okay, where basically, they get to talk in the morning, see my positions, and we go through it. Okay, there's Mike saying good morning. There's Jamie. There's Ramanage, the master of the measured move, and they get to see what I have on. So I come in this morning, with some Qs, which is nice, right? Because the Qs are up well. I figured, hey, maybe the Qs could bounce. I'm still in the IWM, which has been getting some flows. A little NVIDIA, even though it's been, it's kind of broken, but I felt like it could bounce. Jensing is talking today at I think 4:30. I have a little bit of IBIT on, which is the ETF for Bitcoin. I've actually had that on for 2 weeks. Is now we're getting, and I added more as we're getting close to maybe what could be a big breakout or just another range rejection. Little bit of China, and then I have some leftover options. I still have some Amazon 202.50s, which probably don't work for earnings. I might switch that to a lower strike. I have some CLSK and coin on, which in case Bitcoin wanted to have a real big move. I still have some IWMs for August 1st. What is August 1st? August 1st, I believe. Is that Friday? So some for this, for a few different dates. What's today's date? Come on, somebody help me out here. I know I'm going to Montauk at the end of the week. August 1st is Thursday. Okay, so that's why I did it. I wanted to have August 1st so I could get out of it maybe before the jobs report, but after the Fed. And then I also have for the 2nd, okay, which is with the jobs report. And then I have the 28th, the 30th. So yeah, I got some stuff going on. A little Palantir left over that's not going to work. Silver didn't work. Boeing's been kind of working. I'm still short FTEL, which is this scam stock that's probably going to be $1 within the next few weeks. And then what I also did is I shorted a little 547 calls, thinking I could be long. And this is just for today. And then 547, they paid me $1 to sell that premium. So trying to play a middle. What do I mean by playing a middle? Well, not everybody could do that. I figured here's a chart of the spies, that maybe, we could bounce towards 547.90, 549. Maybe it tries to get rejected at this gap or fill this gap. We'll see. It's Monday. I could always buy the SPYs too and play the SPYs that way, but I went with the Qs. So the question is now, will we have an inside range right here? Okay, so will the opening strength be sold, or are they going to push the envelope a little bit and squeeze some of the leftover shorts, that didn't cover into this 3-day down move, and fill some of this gap? I don't think this happens today. If this gap's going to get filled, chances are it's probably going to happen on Wednesday when the Fed is a little dovish and gives clues that they're going to cut rates. Not Wednesday, but probably in September. Anyway, am I short the SPYs? No. Again, I am long the Qs, and because I thought they'd have a better bounce. I'm long the SOXL, which is the semis, and I'm long some IWM. I am short the 547 calls. I did that on Friday's close, saying, hey, I might have too many longs just in case we open down. I could sell the 547s for $1. So that means I'm short at 548 today, which I would be fine with as of right now. The SPYs are right here, 546. So that's sometimes I could have went long the SPYs instead of did the Qs, and the Qs actually, are actually, showing a little relative strength this morning. So anyway, lots of different ways to do it. Not everyone could do it all these different ways. I do it because I've been doing this for such a long time. Some people just day trade because they can't take overnights. And if you're going to last in this business, you have to figure out how to handle overnights, handle options, have a swing account, have a day trading account, etc. So anyway, so that's what that's a question right there. And then the Qs, like I said before, I'm long the Qs. You have this lower bearish flag, but I do think there's a chance that it could get above this 467.94 area and come in at least retest the moving averages, curling down. So this is like 471 to 473. Last time we bounced, we got rejected into those moving averages. So if we wanted to bounce prior to some of these reports, I would think this 471, 472-ish would be a tough area. But guess what? SPYs are only at 465.74, so there's room. And some are like, well, they're going to sell this. It's going to create a bear flag, and we're going to continue lower. Okay, that could happen too. But if I'm trimming some of my Qs from Friday, I don't really care. But anyway, the IWM looks really good. As I showed you on my VTF, I have a few sets of options, and I'm in some. What's the IWM doing this morning? Before I looked, it was up $1. It's up $1.50. Hey, Red Dog. Anyway, you guys want to see something? Let me show you something on the virtual trade floor. Okay, actually, I have that on my swing account. So let me do something real quickly right here. Just because people how do people follow you? How do we, not that anyone wants to just make money by following everything that I do, but everything that I do is very transparent. So watch, I'm going to go here. I'm going to get on my other account. Okay, so hold on. Let's see. IWM. Let's put it right here. So if I go to sell a little bit of my IWM, what people could see is that it'll flash red, right? So I just sold some. It should flash red right here. Oh, see, just sold some IWM at 6:39 in the morning that I was long from last week. Anyway, just a little lesson. So anyway, so I do think there's a good chance that this takes out 225, 226 and continues. If you want to see the weekly chart, everyone's like, Tom Lee says it's going to 280. I'm like, I don't need 280. All I like to see this thing do is kind of get above this 226-ish area. Then you have 232. That would be nice. And then you have this overthrow, which is 244. So do I think there's a chance it can get to here? Yes. What time frame? Not sure, but you don't have to really know right. So anyway, I am long. That's a big focus. It's been a big focus. IWM has been awesome, but anyway, I like to have realistic expectations. I don't talk about levels and spots to try and make headlines. That's not what Red Dog does. Red Dog, just tries to put like realistic expectations out there. That's why I have the 228s and 230s, and I'm long some because it acted very well on Friday. So anyway, I'm selling a little bit because what I do is when a gap is in my favor, I like to trim some in net money because you need to net money to get paid. I get paid quarterly, not monthly. So every quarter, Red Dog trades well. Boom, nice shot in the arm. Yes, I do trade for a living besides being the chief strategic officer. Tony, we don't listen to 60s music here. Maybe at a bar mitzvahs. Anyway, what's up, London? All right, so what else is happening here? So what else is happening here? So Um, okay. What else? What else? What else? So obviously, there's so many earnings. So first is Meta. Someone's like, Red Dog, are you going to take Meta into earnings? I'm definitely not taking the stock into earnings. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to do, an option play here. Um, Earnings are July 31st, so this is until uh, Wednesday. Okay. And at this point, 542 is the high. This would be, likely resistance where it just peaked out of 495. Yeah, this is a gap that could be getting filled prior to it, right? Um, Hussein says you're going with Avago, Target, and Ulta. Okay. Right now I'm just in some Amazon for earnings. I'm not more than that right now, which is fine. I feel like I don't need to be. Um, Again, this morning is going to be a nice, easy morning. Being long Bitcoin, being long some Qs, being long some IWM, having some decent options on. Anyway, but so the first earnings that comes out it's Microsoft. So Microsoft is I think tomorrow, right? Microsoft is the 30th, which is tomorrow. I will not be playing Microsoft for earnings. We'll see, where it is. From 468, it broke its 8-day moving average there. This is where resistance would be. If I were to play it, I would think you'd do like a call spread, maybe 430s by 445, something like that. So this way it's realistic. This morning, what's Amazon doing? Not Amazon, sorry, Microsoft is up 3 at 428. Microsoft was caught in that mess with CrowdStrike. So what's this? This is 429.80. So we'll see. Again, the way you could kind of judge what's going to happen with the Qs and some of these other things are some of the leaders. And right now, a lot of these things have just lower level pivots. So will Microsoft get above 429 to see, this is 432, or will it get up to these moving averages prior to tomorrow? Probably not. Coin earnings, yes, that's not for a little bit. That's not for a while. I'm not playing Microsoft. I have no need. I might. I'm gonna probably buy a little bit more Amazon, but I'm probably gonna go with a more realistic strike. If Jeff's sitting like right now, the 202s are leftover calls. The 202s are like, it has to be a home run report, and then Jeff can't be sitting there selling his stock at 200 to 201 like he was when this thing failed. So what I might do is I might buy some more in the monies and just do a call spread. Whereas right now Amazon is sitting here at 183. You could probably safely do like a 185 by 190 call spread and risk 2 to make 3 and not do a lotto and just do it that way. Also, besides, just in case it's blockbuster. But anyway, Amazon I will definitely take more. Apple I'm probably not going to do an earnings play because in my head, between there's news out there that they're pushing out AI a little bit. Okay, their AI phone to October. I love my iPhone. Okay, I haven't got a new one in like 4 or 5 years. Besides all the fees that I pay, I feel like a lot of people, because the iPhone is so reliable and awesome, they haven't had to change up. But there's going to be a huge cycle, that changes up for the new AI phone, as well as maybe the foldable phone. That's going to be the next phone that I want. I want the foldable phone that's kind of like the Samsung, where I could open it up. I could do more of my work in the morning on it, maybe even trade from there, watch my movies in bed, and then that'll open up the door for a whole huge upgrade cycle and new accessories and billions. So no matter what, if you're an investor, don't sell it. But if you're a trader, it doesn't mean, it might be kind of a lackluster report with optimism moving forward, but we'll see what kind of market we're feeling like, because that's not till Thursday. That's post Fed. That's post a lot of trading. But again, from 237 down to here, it's a bit of a discount. But again, you watch my whole strategy here when you're long above the 8-day, nice bull flag. I haven't really been doing much here since. So we'll see. If it continues lower, and if all of a sudden the market doesn't hold up, like right now, Apple's actually down in a sea of red, down 50 cents. Maybe if it heads towards 210, okay, the 50-day prior, then I think it's worth a shot for options. And then if you lose in your options and it opens a lot lower, then you could trade it post earnings afterwards. something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Um, at this point, the market has a lot to prove. It does. Okay. All we did, so far in the S&P, pull in like 4.5%. The Q's almost 10%. It's only July 29th. So there's a lot of August in front of us. Again, I don't think the Fed's going to be in a rush to be cutting rates in September if all of a sudden, just like here when we pulled in, into April, all of a sudden we're going to be at new highs in a month. I'm not thinking that. I'm kind of thinking we're going to get some kind of tradable bounce. Not everything's going to participate. You're going to be able to figure out an area where it gets rejected. You're going to book some money. Maybe some earnings plays will work, some won't, but it could be noisy. Like look at Netflix. Netflix came out with numbers, and there was, if you would have played options, calls and puts, this has been a noisy mess. So there was no option play there. Google, maybe you would have made money with puts, but this too, has continued to work lower. So we're not in this market where you have FOMO to be, for Microsoft to be at a new all-time high that it hasn't been at in 2 years, and it's going to be a great, powerful setup. No, we're in this like choppy, seems like it's going to be lower. So you don't need to put out all these option plays and put $5,000 here, $10,000 here, just for all these earnings reports. Just trade the action after. Look at even Tesla. Tesla also, had a nice upper flag and broke to the downside. Now this is actually trapped between two gaps, this one and that one. And I do have friends that made money with puts, not me. And we'll see what's next here. What's Tesla doing this morning? It's up 234. Getting tight. So there could be a trade to fill a portion of this gap, or it's going to open up and fail again. So this is like the first earnings season in a while where I'm like, you know what? I don't need to play that many option plays. I have no fear of missing out. I actually kind of think that we're going to get some kind of bounce, and then we're going to have some lower prices into September where I'll be able to put my wife's blood in the street account to work. Again, going back to the SPYs one more time here, you go to the weekly chart and it's like, okay, do you need to be in a rush here to be putting more, longer term money to work? Last time we topped in July was in 2023, and it took all the way down to October before you had a sustainable move through this descending channel here. But there's lots of trades, but you didn't have to put longer term money to work unless you put money in a 401k at 529. So if you remember, I did put the blooded street account to work in April, and that was after almost 4 weeks to the downside. So we've only had 2. And we're that much more elevated. We have craziness in Israel, still in the Ukraine. We have an election right now, which I'm not going to talk about. So at this point, I would say there's a high probability that this 537 is not the low over the next 4 to 8 weeks. So just the moral story is take trades, look for setups, don't put yourself at risk, enjoy yourself in August. Do some things. SMCI is broke. AMD, Shirley, I think is interesting. AMD has been so battered and bruised and been such a crazy, horrible stock that maybe there's an oversold trade here. Stock was 228, and then it just, remember this, predatory move where it went fast and failed. So you're down here, okay? So maybe, they say something optimistic because every piece of good news that AMD's had has been ignored. So this could be like, you get, kind of like the Tesla trade. If you remember, we made a lot of money on Tesla down here because it literally, it was, all you had to do was blow on it and you'd have a nice oversold bounce. So maybe AMD, which, the premiums are so low, perhaps you can get some kind of broken bounce trade. But that's all it is, a broken bounce, because AMD is broken. And SMCI, I don't think is worth it. That's too hard. So this could be a play. Not to, you're not buying 185 calls though. This could be like, you do like a 150 by 160 call spread, and maybe it gets back into this congestion zone, or maybe you do, 145 even. You do. Where's AMD this morning? It's at 140. Maybe you do like you buy the 145 calls, and maybe it goes to 152, 153. So that could be a broken bounce play here. I like it. Yeah, I'll tell you, SMCI is hard. It's loose, wide, not great. Someone asked me, why am I in Boeing? Boeing to me is a broken name. My friends love it, so they say a lot of big money is buying it for the next 3 to 6 months. So I had this little lower area. I'm like, I could buy some options, which have been working. This is when it was in a nice trend. It has a lot of noise around it. But Boeing could be something. I'm always in tech. I'm in all these things. So Boeing actually is something that I thought was a little different. And lastly, Bitcoin. Yes, I've been actually making really good money in Bitcoin for the past few weeks. I bought in the lower level. Now the question is, is it going to finally break this range? Okay, Bitcoin looks really good. We bought IBIT down here, and then I remember adding to it right there. And I've been trading around it, and now all of a sudden it's still just at the upper end of this range. So it hasn't been able to get through it yet. So with with Trump going nuts at the Bitcoin thing, with Kamala's team talking how they need to reach out to Bitcoiners because they're so important. Maybe everyone's on the side of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and you have this huge channel that's been going on for a while. So, perhaps there will be this next move. So continue to buy dips in IBIT. I've also said 1,000 times that Bitcoin could be part of your asset allocation plan, just like gold, where if you have that pie chart and you have equities and bonds and this and that, you know what? A certain 5%, 10% could be Bitcoin every month, just like if you were buying, gold physical or silver. But anyway, this does look good. We'll see if this is going to have a real move through here in order for something like CLSK, which has a nice channel, for this thing to break above this area. It's been a choppy mess. I have some options on. Bitcoin's gonna have to get through 70,000 with authority for something like this, or something like Mara. All these things are such choppy craziness, and even coin. So know what is working with what, and what the relationships are, and what you need to get the power, and what you're doing there. CLS, yeah, CLSK, it looks like it should wake up and have a big day, but again, it just hasn't. And I'm in some $18.50 and $19 calls for a little further out. So if Bitcoin has a move, this should go with it. And coin, it's also just it's hard from the upper end of the range to the lower end of the range. And now it's probably right in here. What's coin doing today? Coin is probably up, what, 10? That's what I was thinking, 252. But it's still, for it to break out, it's, it has to have some more sustainable moves. But anyway, so I am in take trade mode. I think every stock's not going to be created equal. You've seen noisiness so far in earnings season. Netflix, no real earnings trade. Google went lower. Tesla went lower. The bar has been lowered, I think, sentiment-wise, for like a Microsoft, because it came in with those things, or a Meta and Amazon and Apple. The market's come in, but it's not like we've been absolutely crushed. You have the Fed Wednesday that will be dovish, but I don't think that they do anything Wednesday except for take out that word elevated, which might help the market. So a lot of little things to do, nothing huge. And if you're having a great quarter so far, continue to net money, and don't have FOMO. You don't need to be in everything to make a living. I say that all the time. Sometimes I'm in 10 things and I was like, oh, I'm missing this, I'm missing that. You could focus on 3 things and make a lot of money if you know how those 3 things move, what their relationships are, and how to navigate them. All right. I got to jump. Be well. And I'm going to do about 40 charts. I'll post a few in a little bit.